Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'll call this meeting of Planning and Economic Development Committee for Tuesday, March the 5th, 2024 to order. We'll have roll call, electronic roll call. Madam Clerk, please. All right, are there any declarations of interest? Seeing, sorry. Councillor Shaid?
Hi, Chair Chapman. I'm
You've cut off, can't hear you. Okay. Councillor Shaid, did you have a declaration? Okay, I'll move on from that then, see if she can reconnect. Adoption of the minutes for the February 6, 2024, moved by Mayor Watton, seconded by Councillor Kerr. Any comments, questions, or otherwise? All in favor? Opposed? That is carried. There are no statutory public meetings. Before we get to presentations, Mayor Watton, you have a motion? Oh, sorry, I guess I better...
Thank you, Chair Chapman. I would just like to move, waive the rules and bring forward Report 2024 P-6 before we do the presentation of the budget.
Okay, can I have a seconder? Councillor Kerr, on waiving the rules to move P6 forward. All in favor? Opposed? That's carried. So do you want to move the report, Mayor?
I will, thank you.
Okay, and seconder?
Let Sean do this one.
Mayor Collier?
I don't remember what we're looking at. I'm trying to bring up my agenda.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
For a second.
Seconded by Councillor Kerr. Any comments, questions? All in favor? Opposed? That's carried.
Okay, Wilma says yes.
Your piece has been passed. Okay, thought we'd bring it up so you didn't have to sit. You're welcome to stay and watch all our budget stuff if you like, but your piece has passed committee and go to council, goes to council on the next council meeting, right? Thanks for your attendance.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
So next is our presentations, which will be Colleen Goodchild, Director of Planning, and Simon Gill, Director of Economic Development and Tourism. It'll start off with Commissioner Taylor and Director Pincombe. But before we get into the Planning and Economic Department business plans and budgets, we'll hear from our Commissioner.
All right, well, thank you, and good morning, everyone, and thank you, Committee Chair Chapman. The presentation by Colleen and Simon is about 17 or 18 minutes, but I just wanted to start by saying that I feel very privileged to work with such a dedicated team of planning and economic development professionals, and we are very pleased to support the work that you folks do to make the region a great place to live, work, and do business. In the big scheme of things, the region's, the department's budget is a relatively small part of the overall picture, but I think the impact we have overall is very substantial, and we're proud of that. So again, we appreciate the support that you provide to us, and we hope that you will see fit to support our 2024 budget. And with that, I will pass it over to Nicole and Nancy.
Thank you, Commissioner. It's easy when we got good staff and a good committee, eh? Yeah. Morning, Nicole.
Good morning, Chair. Wait a minute for the presentation, if that's okay, just to show up on the screens for everybody. Excellent, thank you. So, good morning, Chair Chapman, Chair Henry, members of Planning and Economic Development Committee. I appreciate the opportunity this morning just to provide some brief introductory comments from a finance perspective before I turn it over to Colleen and Simon to get into the details of the Planning and Economic Development Department's business plans and budgets proposed for 2024. I just want to echo Commissioner Bridgman's comments with thanks to Cheryl Baldy, Jagpat, Colleen Goodchild, Simon Gill, and Heather Finley for their dedication and their collaboration in the development of the budget before you this morning, as well as Commissioners Bridgman, Taylor, and CEO Baxter Tahir for their leadership, and lastly for my team for their hard work and dedication as well in compiling the package that you see that you have before you today. So the package and the proposed budget for 2024 achieves the Regional Council approved 24 guideline of 7.5%. It advances the goals of the region's strategic plan, and in particular, including the ongoing design of the Go East extension to Bowmanville. And in addition, provides for the necessary planning to support the critical growth related and asset management capital infrastructure to support the provincial housing targets. The budget before you today, once you've deliberated on it, will go before Finance and Administration Committee on March the 19th and then on to Regional Council on March the 27th. Just turn it over to Colleen now. And I realize I didn't advance my slides, sorry. There it is, and then I'll turn it over to Colleen.
Thank you very much. Morning, Chair Chapman, Chair Henry, and members of the committee. I'm happy to provide committee with a brief summary of some of the major accomplishments that were achieved by the Planning Division, as well as the Rapid Transit and Transit-Oriented Development Office, and provide you with a brief outlook of what can be expected here for 2024. But first, Bill 23 and the aspects that would remove planning approval authority from the upper tiers in the Greater Golden Horseshoe is yet to be proclaimed. And post Bill 23, there will continue to be regional planners doing a lot of important work that supports other regional departments, such as forecasting growth, data analytics, transit-oriented development, active transportation and transportation planning, and supporting our citizen advisory committees. Our 2024 Planning Division budget does start to consider the proposed changes to Bill 23 and reflects the transfer of our regional land division approval responsibilities to our area municipalities, and we've reduced our application fee revenue by 35% as compared to last year. But it does remain premature to make any additional changes to the operational aspects of the Planning Division until more information is known about the potential proclamation of Bill 23. The slide before you provides a breakdown of our expenditures and funding sources for the division. For planning and TOD, we have expenditures of $21.4 million, and roughly 2/3 of that is allocated to transit-oriented development, with the majority of that budget being funded by debentures. And then 1/3 of our budget, which is just under $7 million, is for planning, and it's divided amongst our sections of policy, transportation planning, plan implementation, and GIS and visualization. And this is primarily funded by property tax, but it's also offset by our application or program fees. A small component of the budget has also been earmarked to fund our citizen advisory committees, the Agricultural Advisory Committee, our Environment and Climate Advisory Committee, as well as active transportation. So over 2023, our staff finalized and brought forward Envision Durham, the region's new official plan. The official plan was adopted by Council in May of last year. The adopted official plan followed statutory consultation and engagement with the public through the first part of the year. We've released our draft official plan for consultation, held a public open house here at regional headquarters, and then our statutory public meeting here in Chambers with committee in March of last year. Following the adoption of the new official plan, it was then packaged up and sent to the province for its approval. Provincial staff over the summer posted the new official plan on the environmental registry and undertook Indigenous consultation. We have yet to hear back on the approval of the official plan or if the province has any comments on our work. Turning to affordable housing, In March of 2022, Council endorsed a new at-home incentive program that actively encourages the creation of new purpose-built affordable rental housing projects in the region. The AHIP, as we refer to it, is implemented under a regional municipal capital housing facilities bylaw to be able to provide regionally funded capital incentives for these projects. In year one of the program, we received 9 proposals, and our division led an interdepartmental committee of staff across departments of the region that reviewed the applications and evaluated them against the approved criteria. And we had 2 projects that were supported. First is the development by Riverbank Homes in Oshawa on Colburn Street West. Riverbank received $5.5 million to build 75 affordable housing units within a 6-story building, and planning is underway for that to happen. They are also awaiting CMHC funding to make that project work. The second project is Kindred Works, which is a faith-based group which received just under $2 million to develop 41 rental units, and 13 of those would be affordable. And this is off of Dumbarton Road in the city of Pickering. In 2023, our transportation planning staff continued work on and substantially completed the Durham Meadowway Visioning Study, which is a key component of our regional cycling plan update. And from a plan implementation perspective, in addition to the review of development applications, coordinating comments on official plans and secondary plans from the area municipalities, this section also effectively administered Land Division Committee and then prepared for and executed the transfer of that responsibility to our area municipalities. We provided training for both staff and Committee of Adjustment members at the area municipalities, and we're assisting with file transfer. So our team will continue to deal with the open files for up to 2 years. Our policy team also collaborated with the region's 5 conservation authorities and led an internal staff working group that finalized memorandums of understanding to guide our future working relationships as well as our budget processes with the conservation authorities. 2024 again promises to be a very active year for the Planning Division. We'll continue to support the provincial approval of Envision Durham, and we remain poised to help provincial staff in their review of the document. We will also be enhancing our growth management and data analytic capabilities to move towards the implementation of a growth management model that will help better monitor residential unit supply, employment land supply, as well as the availability of infrastructure capacity and servicing. To support this, we've also reached out to the area municipalities about the formation of a data working group that will streamline sharing and use of information, like subdivision activity and building permits. This year, we will also present recommendations in support of affordable housing projects through year 2 of the at-home incentive program. 10 proposals have been received, and staff's recommendations are intended to be presented at the April Committee of the Whole meeting. We will also formally complete the Durham Meadowway Visioning Study, and you'll see a presentation at our next Committee of the Whole meeting, and then we'll work on drafting the terms of reference for the Meadowway Environmental Assessment in partnership with our area municipalities, and we'll also work on negotiating a suitable cost-sharing arrangement for the environmental assessment work with the 4 affected area municipalities from Pickering to Oshawa. We're also going to continue the advancement of active transportation actions in our cycling plan, including working on our bicycle parking guidelines, completing our signage and wayfinding strategy, and continuing our assistance in developing school safety plans as part of our active and sustainable school travel program. And lastly, we'll be working with Lakeridge Health Foundation and the Ajax Pickering Hospital Foundation to host our Bike for Health event, a charity bike ride on June 2nd of this year. And in an effort to support our local businesses, we will be conducting our annual business count from May through August this year to gather critical employment statistics. And lastly, it does prove to still be a very busy time down at Queen's Park, so our team will lead and coordinate our efforts to provide a regional perspective on planning policy initiatives that are introduced by the province this year. In the interim, since Lorraine Hunick's departure in December, I have been overseeing the activities of the TOD office, and are also presenting on part of this as part of this office. So this small team has really leveraged advocacy strategies to ensure that the Go East extension has been announced, funded, and procured by Metrolinx. At least that work has been started, including the announcement of the construction management contract in June that's to complete the design of the rail corridor. We also continued work on the station implementation framework alongside Metrolinx as part of our TOD strategy for the extension. And just tying back to some of those numbers that we showed on the first slide, the largest bulk of the division's expenditures here are related to station design and station implementation. We also worked hard to realize the passing of Bill 131 and the new Go Transit Station Funding Act that was passed in December of last year. This legislation will allow prescribed municipalities with the option to fund new GO stations and recover the cost through a station contribution charge. This office is also continuing to collaborate with our area municipal partners of Oshawa and Clarington to advance the GO extension design and feasibility assessment work. And then from a rapid transit perspective, we have advanced the preliminary design business case for the Durham-Scarborough Bus Rapid Transit Project, with completion expected mid this year. And we have continued work on the Simcoe Rapid Transit Environmental Assessments by initiating our visioning study and initial business case. For 2024, we will see the Rapid Transit and TOD office working on several key projects. Our team will continue to work on advancing station implementation frameworks as part of our TOD strategy. There will be continued collaboration between the region and the area municipalities and Metrolinx to advance the Go East extension design and feasibility as well. We will continue to work closely with our area municipalities along the extension regarding land use permissions, particularly with secondary plans coming forward in Oshawa and Clarington for our major transit station areas. We'll also be working closely with the Ministry of Infrastructure through their municipal working group consultations to comment on the regulations associated with the Go Transit Station Funding Act. And those are expected to be released in July, and we're preparing comments now. We'll continue to identify transit-oriented development opportunities that are associated with rapid transit investment in the region, including those that advance housing opportunities, but particularly in our major transit station areas. And lastly, this team will continue to build the rapid transit deployment plan and advance in progress projects. So I'll pass it over now to Simon Gill, our Director of Economic Development and Tourism, for his component of the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Colleen. Good morning. The proposed 2024 Economic Development and Tourism budget is $4.4 million, largely funded through property tax revenues. The $4.4 million budget is split between marketing and tourism, which includes film and television and sport, between business development and investment, agri-food and rural economic development, and then other smaller sections. I'll highlight a few 2023 accomplishments of the Economic Development and Tourism team. The Business Development and Investment Attraction team serviced a record-breaking 230 new prospective investment leads last year. They organized and suggested suitable real estate options for over 35 inquiries. They delivered over 20 detailed pitch proposals, these are specific to the investor, and hosted 14 inbound delegations and site visits. Moving on to marketing and tourism, the team showcased the region's exciting potential for automotive sector innovation at the Collision Conference, where we actually hosted the Project Aero car in the booth. This resulted in nearly 1,000 new connections and a huge increase in our brand recognition among the North American tech industry. Last year, the team had a target growth of 18%, and I'm pleased to report that we grew our total social media following by 21% last year as we worked hard to showcase the region as a desirable location for new investment and for visitors. We hosted the successful Durham 2023 Ontario Parasport Games last year, which actually generated a legacy fund to continue investing in inclusive sport infrastructure across the region for years to come. We organized and delivered the Gather at the Farm campaign to drive visitors to local agri-food producers, and we increased the adoption of local food in our culinary sector. Our North Durham and agriculture team organized the North Durham Building Business Forum, welcoming over 100 attendees for a full day of content, and the team delivered the Scugog Business Program. I'll speak briefly about some highlights from our 2024 action plan, which largely constitutes delivering on action items from our now award-winning economic development and tourism strategy, Ready, Set, Future. The first thing that the business development team will begin work on is an investment attraction plan to identify target geographies and implement a 2024 mission plan to go meet with prospective investors in their home markets. We will continue to promote Durham Region as a destination for sporting events by bidding and hosting on events that are diverse and inclusive. We will undertake business retention and expansion programming across North Durham, and we will, with our partners in the planning division, continue to advance the OFDU, or On-Farm Diversified Uses Project, to assist Northern Townships navigating additional commercial activities on farm properties. Continuing work that began last year in collaboration with our partners at the area municipalities, we will continue to fund and begin implementing a family physician attraction and retention program, again in collaboration with the area municipalities as well as CBOT, the Durham Ontario Health Team, and we will continue to deliver welcoming services to the family medicine trainees that are coming to Durham. And lastly, we will continue to promote the region as an incredible location for new business investment across our digital channels and through engaging events. I will now shift to take my economic development and tourism hat off and speak on behalf of the whole department to wrap up this presentation on behalf of Planning, ECDEV, and TOD. I'll speak to some reductions and deferrals that we achieved in this 2024 budget, beginning by going through line by line and reducing such costs as equipment rentals, postage, courier services, phones, and printing. Another reduction or deferral results from the uncertainty of Bill 23, where the Planning Division has deferred the filling of 3 current vacancies for the full year of 2024, and noteworthy that the division continues to operate with a 30% vacancy rate overall. And then third, I'll note that the marketing budget was reduced, and as a result, we're not planning to exhibit with a booth at Collision Conference this year, but we do have other plans in the works to exhibit and showcase our great story at other events. Some risks and uncertainties to note. Bill 23, again, introduced challenges and uncertainties in the context of an ambitious work plan that the team has this year amid some staff vacancies. I'll note also that application revenue may not meet forecasts due to Bill 23. And then third, the procurement for the construction of our Lakeshore Go East extension has advanced substantially over the last year and continues to increase pressure on the region and the province to ensure that the plans for station delivery are agreed to and continue to be advanced. Again, on behalf of the whole department, I'll speak to some forecasted pressures and considerations. A note that you may recall from prior versions of this presentation in prior years that our population continues to be forecasted to grow at an unprecedented rate. Our new OP, once approved, the combination of pressures from regional infrastructure and service planning, responding to development applications, housing, participating in area municipal initiatives will all be significant. Technological changes and improvements as the department continues to offer a greater variety of online services. Another potential pressure is the timing and amount of TOD and related infrastructure coordination that may result in increasing staffing pressures. And then lastly, Ready, Set, Future, our ECDEV strategy, has bold aspirations in future years out to 2027 to grow such things as talent attraction and retention, placemaking initiatives, and these may also place pressure on future year staffing requirements. This brings to a close our presentation on the Planning and Economic Development Department's proposed 2024 budget, and our team would be pleased to answer any questions.
Thank you, Nicole, Colleen, and Simon. So Because we have nothing else after this, I'd like to put the budget on the floor so we can ask questions on both the presentation and the budget. You wanted to move that, Mayor Collier, seconded by Chair Henry. So it is on the floor, questions on both the presentation and/or the business plans and budget. And Councillor Kerr, you're up first.
Thank you, sir. Through you to Colleen first, if I may. I'll do these in the order of the presentation. I have two questions. Interested to hear a little bit more about the housing project, excuse me, on Colborne Street West in Oshawa. Did you say there were 75 units?
Correct. So Riverbank Homes, or Tim Neeb, that you may be familiar with, is developing that project as supportive housing with wraparound supports. And we have been able to support that through year one of the at-home incentive program, but it's also being or searching for other upper tier levels of government funding, as well as I mentioned, the CMHC funding as well. So they should have a response on the CMHC funding later this year, and then we can sign the agreement through the regional bylaw for the AHIP program.
So just so you know, the developer on that is the same one that built the unit on Ritson Road just north of our transfer station.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I thought I heard the name before. Could you, just for my own edification, but also those who may be watching, would you kindly describe the difference between supportive housing and affordable housing, please?
Sure. So I use the term supportive housing for Mr. Neeb's development because he's planning to provide other supports on site, whether it's counseling, meal service, employment services, whatnot. Affordable housing is taking it down to a level of rent per month that could be more palatable for someone who's on a fixed income or government support. And we have that various levels depending on how it's approved. But that's what the affordable rental housing component of it would be.
So would supportive housing, the way you describe it, be more for seniors with care needs and so forth?
Through you, Mr. Chair, which I haven't said yet this morning, so apologies there. Supportive housing, as as I was describing, is more similar to our project in Beaverton as well, with the supports for individuals who may have not been in housing for some time or things like that. But we can get you specific details on Riverbank's proposal, connecting with City of Oshawa as well, planning services, to get that for you. Thanks.
Thank you very much. My second question relates to the bus rapid transit. Very interested to hear that some agreement may be in place by mid-2024. When might we see the first bus roll through Oshawa and back to Scarborough?
So through you, Mr. Chair, I don't have that specific information for you in terms of construction and then opening day, but I can take that back to our Rapid Transit Project Manager, Mr. David Dunn, and get you an answer after the meeting.
So I understand there's a bit of a point that needs to be smoothed over between the transit access between Durham buses and Scarborough. Is that something that has been ironed out at this point? The Go Metrolinx people told me this, so I'm just wondering, where does that stand at this point?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I'd also have to get you an update from our Works Department colleagues who are working on that project more
I'll
closely.
look forward to that. Thank you
Okay,
very much.
thank you.
Simon, you're up next, please. I have a couple of questions for you, through you, Mr. Chair, if I may. Ticklish question maybe, but you're talking about, geez, I look pink on that screen today. I didn't know I had that many freckles on top of my head either. These are good cameras. So I'm focusing in on business leads, connections, all this great outreach. How many actual sites are going to be now inhabited by new businesses? In other words, we may have attracted them, but have they landed here? And if so, how many and who, off the top of your head, might you be able to relate to us?
Yes, thank you for the question through the chair. Our team is bringing a report to the next Planning and Economic Development Committee containing all of the investment attraction statistics from the prior year, which includes a complete report of all the leads that we worked on the successful investments. It includes actually a very exhaustive list of major investments that occurred across the region. So if it's all right, that report will likely answer that question in full. I don't have detailed numbers off the top of my head that I can share right now. I'd have to get back to you.
So this report today wasn't intended to go into that level of detail. Okay, thank you. That answers that. And the I was in the old days, it used to be called the $64,000 question. This is probably the $2 billion question. When do you think the first GO train is going to roll through and out to Bowmanville?
Through the chair, that is a good question. Maybe my commissioner has a better estimate than I do. I'll put him on the hot seat.
Not to put you too much on the spot, but it's going to roll right through Ward 4 and 5. I just have a lot of residents asking about this. That's my ward.
Well, there's a lot of moving parts, if you will.
Train parts?
All manner of parts on the work that needs to happen. As it stands at the moment, you know, there's some talk of that 2020, late 27, early 2028 timeframe, but that's not, you know, to say that there's a lot of other complexity that could come into play. It's things are evolving very quickly, but, you know, hopefully, you know, out toward that timeframe.
Okay. I won't go into the weeds of kind of discussions we've had in my city because my colleague here has just told me, keep your regional hat on. I thought Oshawa was part of the region. But anyway, thank you very much. That covers my two questions. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Just some added information you can have in Oshawa specific is the construction of widening the Simcoe Street Bridge and the Wilson Road Bridge will not start until next year sometime. So add on the time of how long? 2 years to do a bridge like that. Yeah. Okay. Next we have Councillor Pickles. You on there? David? You're looking good this morning, but can you talk? Hey? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Any David Pickles? Okay, so let's go to the next.
Thanks. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can. Yes, thanks. Oh, hold on. You just send a request in again. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep, you're good. Thanks.
Good. It's a bit of a poor connection. Sorry about that this morning. My esteemed colleague, Councillor Kerr, asked some of the questions that I had wanted to ask, but a question for Simon. He mentioned the collision conference, and I know we participated that in the past, and I heard good things about it. I guess, have we weighed the benefit of being there, the costs and the decision not to be there? I wonder, how productive was it in the past? Did we get a lot of leads? Was there sort of a cost-benefit analysis for not participating?
Yes, through the chair, and thank you for the question. We did undertake a pretty deep analysis of the cost-benefit of that conference, obviously understanding a tight budget year, and we had accomplished great things in the last 2 years exhibiting there. The first year, 2 years ago, we exhibited to showcase that Durham was a delicious place to start a tech company. We grew our brand awareness a great deal, and we created a lot of great new connections for our innovation community partners and for new investment. Last year, we showcased our advanced automotive sector and our potential for investment in electrified automotive, autonomous technologies, and the value chain around automotive. And we generated almost 1,000 new leads and grew our brand awareness a great deal by having exhibited there with all of our partners at the area municipalities, at the post-secondary institutions, and at Spark in 1855. This coming year, we discussed it with the Durham Economic Development Partnership, which includes staff from all the area municipalities, and decided that we had largely achieved what we had set out to achieve with the North American tech industry. And that the marginal gains were probably not worth the level of investment that would be required this year to exhibit with a large booth. And so we have turned our attention towards other opportunities, other events that we're planning to organize, to exhibit at, and to collaborate in participating at, that we feel will drive better value. And there will be more reports to come in the future about those planned events.
Councillor Pickles? Councillor Pickles? Think so? I'm not sure. I think we'll try and reconnect and find out what's going on. The next Councillor Wu. Councillor Wu? Okay. Let's go back to Councillor Pickles. Councillor Pickles? David? Can you hear me? Can't hear you.
Mr. Chair? Hello? Sorry, it seems to be a very bad connection. Simon, the one other question
No, you're breaking up.
I had was, and it's a bit indirect, you did mention the population increases to
David, you're breaking up.
To our-
Maybe you're breaking up. Maybe turn your camera off.
municipalities.
Is it? Yeah, turn your camera
Out
off
here.
and let's see if we can.
I
If you come through better.
often get asked about
Okay.
the signs along the 401
Okay.
about population in municipalities.
David,
It was my understanding that the province is responsible for those signs, and they do it on the basis of the census every. Can you hear me?
No, you're breaking up.
Can you hear me?
Suggest you turn your camera off and try it without your camera.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
No. Check
Miss-
your phone for a text. Yeah.
Mr. Chair? Can you?
No,
Sorry, bad connection.
you keep breaking up. Yeah, try to turn your camera off and give that a try. Or not. Okay. Councillor Pickles? Okay. Okay, your camera's off. Give a test, see if we can hear you. Oh, camera's back on.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear him. Okay, give it a try.
Can you hear me, Mr. Chair?
Yeah. Okay, try your question.
Can you? Yes, it's not working very. Me? Can you hear?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I'll text you, Michael. Thank you.
Okay.
there? My question.
Okay. Camera's off. Have you got a question? Give it a try. No, nothing's coming through. I'm not sure if you can hear us. If you can hear us, maybe you want to text me your question and I'll ask the staff, whichever one you were looking to ask. Or not. Okay, let's try Councillor Wu again. Councillor Wu? Councillor Wu? Just hold on a minute. Okay, here's Councillor Pickles can hear us, it sounds like. So my question is, who updates the population signs on the 401?
Through you, Mr. Chair, my understanding is that the area municipality updates those based on the forecast that they would receive through the census and any growth forecast they would be doing themselves. We at the region are not involved in those signs either between municipalities off the 401 or on the 401.
Okay, thank you. His next point is, please thank staff for all their work. So thank you, staff. And we seem to have lost Councillor Wu. No other questions? Then on the budget, all in favor? Opposed? That is carried. That ends the meeting. And other business? I just have one point. Simon Gill and your team, I just want to congratulate you. I'm sure everybody knows that the best economic development strategy, Ready, Set, Future, won an award from the Economic Development Council of Ontario. So to you and your staff, and please pass on to your staff, excellent job. And now that we're approving the budget and hopefully council with, we expect much more in 2024, okay? No other business. I have a motion to adjourn, moved by Councillor Kerr, seconded by Chair Henry. All in favor, opposed? That is carried. Thank you.